Hello and welcome to the program. Pastor Artur Pawlowski recently had a long interview with Viva Frei, which I encourage everyone to watch in its entirety. But naturally, there are some highlights that I want to cover here. Of most critical importance is that the regime has begun targeting the pastor's family and have started in on his son. In Canada, it's considered an intolerable crime to read your Bible in public. This is a matter that the pastor is already supposed to have adjudicated and won years back, and yet his son has been pressed into the same scenario. So there will also be a link to the young man's legal defense. Now, laughably, the day of the interview, August 10th, was to be his sentencing hearing for being convicted of violating Canada's Critical Infrastructure Defence Act, which said sentencing has been pushed to September 18th. That farce of a conviction lays in citing of the trucker protest at the pastor's feet and holds him responsible for a violent temperament that never actually manifested apart from police, an element that the pastor had no control over, which the same can be said for the truckers. And the yawning injustice of the sentencing has already entailed 50 days of truly traumatic isolation from loved ones, approximately near the end of which he communicated to his wife that he believed he would soon die, and further house arrest as though the good pastor were a danger to the community. But the pastor did talk about who he is a danger to. He talked about how he has been offered bureaucratic positions in order to pretend he was cleaning up the political system, and otherwise offered bribes to end his legal troubles. In refusing these things, he was subsequently thrown out of his duly elected political office by the controlling board of directors, and has struck up his own political party, which the pastor hopes will prove more fruitful and resilient to political payoffs. Pastor Artur Pawlowski is a fly in the ointment, a refutation of one man lording over another, kneeling only to his God. He says he could have just been left alone to feed the poor, and he would have been content. On the one hand, I believe him that he might have abstained from political office, but on the other hand, I suspect he was always destined for this theater that he is in, and I hope that he plays his part to the fullest, so that we finally see a collapse of corruption across nations. Everyone has their own idea about the likelihood of that prospect of genuine political change, but on that count, I'd like to point out that what little it took to put the snakes in fear. One man standing in his church or on a street offering food was a problem for them. They must be truly weak indeed and ready to be replaced. Please find the link to the pastor's full interview below, and remember to help support his son as well. Thank you for watching, and you have just been programmed.